Whatever happened to Gary Cooper? The strong, silent type.
The strong and silent type stars in High Noon. 1952's High Noon is a highly influential Western. It takes place literally in 90 minutes. Starting at 10:30, there's a marriage. Gary Cooper gets married to Grace Kelly. Kelly's character is a Quaker. Gary Cooper is a retiring marshal. He's agreed to move away and retire from being the town marshal. He just finds out on his way out that one of the prisoners that he imprisoned being let go and taken back on the noon train. So Gary Cooper does what Gary Cooper should do, protects his town for the final time. And that's basically the summary of the initial inciting incident of High Noon. High Noon I haven't seen before, and I'm coming into it from 2024's perspective. You know, it's interesting. I've seen a lot of movies that were influenced by this, you know, one day scenario, and then the conclusion where you have a religious figure of Grace Kelly getting in on the action, a marshal sticking around, being stubborn, somebody resisting retirement on that one last job, or the one last gig or something. It's been spun off so many times in different genres since High Noon that I came into it, not really seeing the revolutionary storytelling here, respect the classicness of High Noon, but I found it to be kind of a drag. The writing was sort of on the nose at times, but I will say, when we do hit the final 30 minutes where it is a shootout, it is action-packed, will the marshal be able to save the town and protect the town from its, his past prisoners and its gang and all of that? I thought that was quite exciting, but the stuff before was kind of very much dated as far as, Grace Kelly's character and Grace Kelly not really being able to speak for her character as a Quaker. Like, the whole town for the first 60 minutes is trying to, tell Gary Cooper to leave town and enjoy retirement, not even thinking that they're not going to have protection because the new marshal doesn't start till the next day, stuff like that. This is my first time seeing Gary Cooper on screen. I thought he was fine.
Gary Cooper in touch with his feelings, that they wouldn't be able to shut him up. And then it's dysfunction this, and dysfunction that, and dysfunction mafungo.
Overall, High Noon, I gotta respect it for what it's done for film and cinema. But as far as a groundbreaking Western, like The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, Shane, 310 to Yuma, the original and the remake, Unforgiven, I enjoy so many other Westerns that I don't really consider High Noon to be in that conversation. This is a 4K restoration from Kino Lorber based on a original scan from the 35 camera negative, Dolby Vision, full HDR, and it looks great. I mean, honestly, it looks like a film that might have been shot in the 70s, not the 50s. The film grain is very fine, and everything's cleaned up image-wise, sometimes too good, if that's possible, but black and white really shines in the high dynamic range. You get a fuller sense of the black, inky blacks and the color palette of, how the grays and the whites and the shadows and the details of the skin and all that. It looks beautiful. Just a Dolby mix. But it sounds good. It's also a catchy song called High Noon in this that, I found very catchy, and it's repeated over and over as part of the score. There's some audio commentaries on here and a making of High Noon 5 featurettes. So if you're a fan of High Noon, I'm recommending this as a 4K Blu-ray. If you're new to the genre of Westerns, or if you're new to High Noon and you've seen other Westerns, I don't know if you'll enjoy it as much. I didn't enjoy it as much as somebody that might have grew up with this film in the 50s. But let me know your thoughts below in the comments on High Noon. Do you enjoy it? Have you seen it since it came out? I mean, have you grew up with it? Are you new to High Noon? Let me know your thoughts. Did you pick up this 4K from Kino? And as always, this has been Return to Disc. I'm Dan.